Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Welcome to the first very anticipated episode of the Fine Print podcast. Because I think right before we started recording, we're talking about procrastination and looking for excuses. So, for context, we have been gearing up to start this podcast. We've run out of excuses. We've done flyers, we've done animations, we've tried so many different things.
Social media.
Yeah, and we've recorded 3 times and scrapped them all. And upon reflection, we realized that they've all been a bunch of well crafted excuses on not starting.
Yeah, we are the best at, I guess, making excuses for ourselves.
Yes, but
But
I did notice a difference. Sorry, did you want to go?
no, I was saying, but we're here now, so let's give them the intro they need.
Okay, so my name is Zubair Kazaure, and I'm a serial entrepreneur and also a cybersecurity expert. Sani?
Yeah, my name is Sani Abdullah. I'm also a serial entrepreneur, but I'm not a cybersecurity expert. I'm an electrical engineer.
Slash jack of all trades.
Yes, master of
So I kind of waited for the introduction of what we actually do to getting out of the way who we are as individuals. Because I think I've been thinking about it, and the most valuable thing I have in terms of entrepreneurship are my failures, the ideas that didn't end up working, the ideas that I spent 2 months trying to get out and end up scrapping them, or the ones
Mhm.
that just ended up going out but just didn't make sense in the real world. I have at least 100 of those out there. Ideas that either died before getting off the ground, some in validation phase. I had a
Mhm.
great idea overnight, and I've been talking to a bunch of people about it, and it just doesn't make sense to them. And the
Mm.
ones that ended up putting money in that didn't succeed. So while having said that, right now I have a business in two businesses in Nigeria, Asteria Alliance and Pi Digital. One's a managing consulting firm, Asteria Alliance, and then Pi Digital is a software development company. And then in the UK, I have a startup currently in the pipeline, very close to launching Hobly. And Hobly is is a gig app focusing on household chores. Household chores broken down into micro, small tasks. You can download it on App Store or Google Play Store.
Oh, is it out on the App Store already?
Yes, a version of it is on the App
Mhm.
Store, but nothing on the Play Store yet. But the version that I would want you to see is yet to come out, but
Is
very
yet to
soon.
come out. I
Yeah.
see. Well, very excited. I definitely know how hard you've been working on this project, and it's definitely one of your babies. So, doubling back a little bit on all of your shelved projects, do you have any that, one of those your children projects that still pain you that, you had to shelve? Do you have any of those?
Ha. So At the beginning of every idea, I'm always very emotionally invested. That I feel all of them are just a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
But so I have projects that I put in a lot. So not necessarily startups. So there was a time that I was working on a train management system. I
Mm-hmm.
was subcontracted. I was in Nigeria. I was subcontracted by another firm that had gotten a a project to create train ticketing system.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I was just starting. And when you've convinced yourself that this is the one that will get you
Mm-hmm.
there. So I kind of put all my eggs in that basket, and we really worked hard on it with my team. And towards the conclusion of it, due to a policy change, the whole thing was scrapped.
Ah, and that's, I think, part of the difficulties of doing business in Nigeria, isn't it?
Yes, yes. But this one isn't really emotional. It was
Mm-hmm.
more of a survival thing
Mm-hmm.
because I saw it as all right, I have all these ideas, but I need to be able to fund them. And I saw this as an opportunity to,
Get
one
out of the
quick hit.
hood.
And yeah, exactly, exactly. One quick hit, and I'll have the money to fund. When you
Yeah.
convince yourself the reason why you're not there yet is the funds.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, over time, I have actually experience has taught me that that is not the limitation. I think
Mm-hmm.
right now I would in terms of priority, I would put partnerships ahead of capital.
Mm-hmm.
Even though partnerships is in itself is a form of capital, but
Mm-hmm.
I would choose good partnerships over money in starting a business.
Do you mean partnerships where you kind of split equity, or just getting a good team in general at your startup?
No, so there's a partnership, and then there's on equity,
Mm-hmm.
and then because mind you, I just told you that I put it over money.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time when usually I'm going to get the partnerships, I don't have the money
Mm-hmm.
to pay you to become
Mm-hmm.
my partner. Instead, I've identified the qualities I'm looking for in a partner, the skills in you. What I have at that point in time, and I've been in that position so many times, what I have right then is my ability to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So I will sell the idea to you and
Sell the
hopefully get
dream.
you, yes, hopefully get you emotionally invested in the idea. And
Mm-hmm.
then the only tangible thing I have at that point to trade you for is equity.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I'm always happy to go equity.
Mm-hmm.
So the team part of it comes with money then. So
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of isolated them. There's the partnership, which usually might sometimes be tied to money, but at the root of it, it is all about how well you can sell the idea for somebody
Mm-hmm.
else to buy in. And what you get in return for your buy in is equity.
Mm-hmm.
Equity, profit sharing, whatever it is a future commodity. It's a future commodity, not a right now tangible
Mm-hmm.
commodity.
Yeah, definitely. I recently learned that lesson the hard way about having a great team behind you. It's so essential. There's just no getting away from it because, like they say, no man is an island. You just cannot do everything yourself. And when you have a lazy team or not motivated team, well, not motivated team can be kind of fixed, but If you just have a lazy team or uninterested completely team or not hardworking, it's it's quite difficult to
or
get
even
anything.
worse,
Yeah,
skill level just not cutting it.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's worse
That's the
because it's
hardest
sad.
kind of look at. Yeah,
Yeah,
when
it's sad
the skill
because
level is just not there.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
a mentor of mine, Landon, I call him my mentor because I guess he's the only kind of mentor-ish person I have right now. He told me something interesting. He said, imagine all your teammates and partners, and imagine one of them leaving, just hands in his resignation. How hard are you going to fight to keep him? Or how bad would you feel he's leaving? If you don't feel bad about them leaving, they shouldn't be on your team. And that got me really thinking, like, about a lot of my teammates. And I'm like, I wouldn't feel bad if this guy left.
if
you know?
anything, it will mix up some resources for you. So yeah, but well, right now you've kind of evaded telling us what it is that the fun projects that working on.
Oh, yeah. So right now, I haven't started that many companies. I did have fun ideas that I guess I killed as well, but not so dramatically like some people. Just probably some ideas that are out of my funding reach right now, or just connections are not there, or the ideas are just too big for me at the moment. But right now, my top two startups that I'm working on are Relate, which is a super app we're building for Nigeria. So it's essentially a Nigerian company, even though it's registered in both Nigeria and the US. And the main one, which has kind of started taking off and is already generating a lot of revenue right now, is Swift Ride, which is a car subscription company based here in Atlanta, Georgia, that allows people seamless car subscription access. Basically, Spotify, but for your car. You subscribe to a plan and you're able to use our app to unlock the cars, drive them, do whatever you want with them. Hopefully, not anything GTA style, but our app is going live today, this evening, and it's going to be available on the App Store. The version that I want you guys to see, in the words of Zubair. Yeah, so that's gonna be live tonight, inshallah, or God willing.
Well, congratulations, because I'm finding that out for the first time now that you're going live today. So um, good luck and congratulations on the milestone.
Thank you so much. It's pretty exciting stuff going on. Once you kind of get the ball rolling with a startup and revenue starts to come in and you start to expand and hire a bigger team and things like that, it just it's so fun. When people say it's intoxicating, I never used to kind of pay attention because at the time, of course, a bunch of my startups are just still on the ground. There's still ideas and, they're not moving, too much. But when you see your startup actually being used by the customers or the demographic that you're intending, to hit, and you're getting all this great feedback and your product is just flying off the shelf, you sort of feel that motivation that you're doing something right, you know.
Yeah. So
Definitely,
I have a
definitely
question.
recommend.
So you can finish before I raise
Go
it.
for it.
All right. So you described Swift Ride as something like Spotify. So, would you say Swift Ride is a tech company or a logistic company?
You see, that's really a difficult topic that I also thought we would discuss on the podcast, maybe some future episode, because we're so niche, we don't even have our own classification. So here in the US, you have the NAICS, which is the North American Industry something. Basically, it's a code that sort of places your startup into a specific sector. So if you're a train company or you're a beverage company, you have your own code and subcode, and any lender, any business or investor will be able to Google that code and will be able to see exactly what you are. So choosing this code now really impacts your life here in the US, or your life as a business. And that's something I didn't pay attention to at first, because I just registered myself as transportation. I'm like, okay, I'm in transportation. Technically, it doesn't matter, it's just a code or whatever. But it does matter, because all of these codes apparently have risks attached to them. So if you go to an investor now and he sees your code, he's like, oh, this is the transportation sector. This is high risk. I'm not investing in you. So a lot of times I would fill out an application for an angel investor, for an investor, for a bank, and they would just judge me by the code. Even though that is not exactly what I am, that's what they see. So I got a bunch of automatic no's immediately, until one of the lenders that was about to hang up in my face. I stopped him and I was like, wait, please, just give me an answer. Why are you rejecting me? And he's like, your code is too risky. And I'm like, my code? What code? He's like, oh, the NAICS code. And I'm like, that code? You guys use that code? He's like, yeah, we just plug that code in. We have like a risk chart, and if you fall into risky, we just like don't approve you. So I was like, I talked to my partner and co-founder Faizan, and I was like, we need to change that code. And luckily, here in the US, doing that, or at least in Georgia, isn't too difficult. So it was just about $20. We filed some paperwork and got it changed, and we did a little bit of research. And apparently, the code doesn't have to be exactly what you do, but it should be kind of what you do. So the least riskiest code in what we do is car leasing. And that is what we have identified as right now officially, which brings me back to the answer for your question is, we are technically a car leasing company, but because our tech stack is so heavy, I'm starting to feel like we're both a tech company and a car leasing company, you know but I guess cars are our primary focus. I don't even know myself. We have the accessibility through Bluetooth, which is tech heavy. So I guess you would say 50-50. We are kind of a tech company and a car company as well. Maybe like Tesla. Is Tesla considered a tech company, or are they considered a car company?
I think they, I think they consider themselves a tech company, but let me confirm that.
Because I remember Kevin O'Leary was mentioning something about his son, saying that Tesla is not a car company, they are a data company. So all of the Teslas running around are sort of recording all of the self-driving data and storing it.
Yeah,
So
even
eventually they're gonna sell that. So I don't know.
so they actually identify as an AI driven technology company.
Interesting. Interesting. I mean, what is their
Yeah.
official NAICS code?
Okay, let's see. Uh,
I think ChatGPT would be faster for that.
3361. Wait, Yeah, so 3361.
Let's see what that is. So that
Yeah,
is
automobile manufacturing.
automobile manufacturing. Yeah, they even listed under Ford and General Motors. Okay, so I guess that's what they went with. So, but you see how difficult it is to kind of, if you're
Yeah.
doing something niche, it's kind of difficult to fall into some category. Do you guys have something similar in the UK, Zubair?
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's actually why I. Sorry.
No, I think there was a little bit of lag, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so that was why I brought it up because with Hubley, we we well in the UK it's called an SIC number, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe you can mix and match two, but I'm not sure. There's a primary, and then you can have a few different ones, but I need to confirm that. How the first place I met that issue was on opening an account because when we're registering the company, I didn't pay much attention to it. I just thought, okay, we are a facility management.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you remember how the hobby idea evolved was from one of the many projects slash startups that have been shelved. But for a bit of a backstory, the idea of Hobly evolved from our now closed facility management company,
Mm-hmm.
PFS, where I wanted to scale it by giving up a compact package offering where, okay, I'll charge you X amount per month to clean your house or your apartment 4 times a week or 4 times a month. But no matter how I contorted the numbers, it just didn't make sense from a sales perspective because it was just
Mm-hmm.
too expensive.
Yeah.
So when I hit that blocker, I then thought, all right, why don't I break down the services into smaller tasks? So
Mm-hmm.
rather than clean your house, why don't I wash dishes, wash the toilet, just the toilet?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I cook for you? So that will then break it down, will break the pricing down further into individual tasks. And then
Mm-hmm.
you can mix and match according to your budget or what you hate doing. And get
Mm-hmm.
somebody to do the dishes, wash the toilets, and then you handle hoovering and cooking or
Mm-hmm.
something. Mix and match it. So based on that, the SIC we picked was facility management.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we came to opening a bank account, we told them that we're a software company because
Mm-hmm.
at that time we had again leaned into the tech aspect of it because the tech aspect now is the biggest part of it, building the
Mm-hmm.
platform, getting all the flows in. So we said we're a software company, but it's no, you're not
Mm-hmm.
because you're not in that category. And that was the first time I started thinking about it. And
Mm-hmm.
we decided to go as a software development company,
Mm-hmm.
which I still feel is very vague in
Mm-hmm.
terms of what we do. But yeah, we ended up going with that. So that was why I asked the question because I always thought it was interesting, and I think a lot of new founders don't really think about it. But then again, usually, but when you're registering the company, you still don't have a full picture of what it is you're trying to do. That kind of comes later,
Mm-hmm.
and by that time, you find that a lot of things have changed from the original. from the original idea.
Definitely, definitely. That's very important. What you said, that a lot of founders we kind of jump at it. Yeah, let's register the business. Yeah, we're this, and then by the time we kind of actually need those registration papers and stuff, like you said, to open a bank account, our decisions then start to impact all of those things. So definitely one key takeaway for the audience is be very careful when registering the company, even though the if you're here in the US, the code can be changed much easier than I'm sure other places in the world. Is something you should pay attention to, because you might be getting denied loans and bank accounts and investors without any explanation, but it might be due to your code. So Zubair, right now you said you guys kind of identify as a software company. So is that right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I also think you guys are more software than facility management, in the sense
Mhm.
because you eventually the goal is not to have any of your own hubbly staff which does the cleaning, right? It's for people who want to become, I believe you call them hubbliers,
Hobblers.
hubblers, sorry,
Yeah.
hubblers, join the platform,
Yeah.
right? And then do all
Yeah.
of that. So kind of like Uber, you have the Uber
Yes.
drivers and you have perfect,
I
yeah.
describe it as think of Uber for household chores.
For household chores, yeah. Yeah, I think those kind of descriptions, they really help investors especially wrap their head around our ideas, because one of the difficult things I started to realize right now in this stage, primarily because we're pitching to investors and we're trying to educate the public about what we're doing, is the vision lives so deep in your head that you expect other people to just know what this is or what you're talking about, right? So when you start to explain it to them, you really become more aware of how necessary it is to be just clear in what it is you're doing so people actually know. And an example of this was I did a pitch at Atlanta Tech Village last Friday, and the moderator would ask the audience, how many of you remember the company's name? And half of the people in the audience would raise their hands. And then she would say, how many
No.
of you know what the company is doing? And she would pick people at random and they would just say the funniest things. And I thought on my part, I was very clear on my pitch that this is what we are, this is what we're doing. I had my slides and everything, but so many people got it wrong. There are, of course, a couple people that, got it right, but a lot of people got it wrong. A lot of people kind of don't remember your company name, don't remember your name, don't remember how to reach you. So those are big takeaways that I went away with pitching there.
Yeah.
They don't really look at the numbers that much. They want to see some kind of emotional story that really helps them connect with
Yeah.
what you.
I was thinking the same. Yeah, it is emotional first and then analytic.
Yeah,
So people move with the emotions before they start analyzing the numbers. And I can forgive forgetting my name, but don't forget my company name, please.
yeah. The company name was a bit of a shocker, especially that I had a very easy company name as opposed to some of the companies that were pitching as well that would have long, confusing names. We're just Swift, right? But still people would be like, swiftly ride or swifter. Like, okay. So what the moderator proposed was, or she stated out of her experience, was that the audience remembers you more if you wear your swag. They call it swag. So basically, if you wear your own merchandise, that the audience tend to remember the company more because they kind of zone out, they stop looking at your face, they kind of look at your t-shirt, they see, "Oh, okay, Sweet Pride." So that helps them to remember. And a lot of the people as well, they
Incredible.
remembered my name because in one of my slides, I had the app that we were launching, and on the app, I had my name on the top. It said "Hello, Sani," and then so a lot of them they remembered me just because they saw that app. So it tells me that a lot of people are visual. They need
Yeah.
visual stimulus. So I think
Okay.
that's a for thought for
Actually,
your pitching.
yeah, I'm writing the Hello Sani part of it because okay, I think it's a very easy, it's a low hanging fruit in terms of placing Easter eggs around your presentations on your deck, just to make it more memorable.
Definitely, the
Excellent.
subliminal
I
mind
think
is more powerful than we
go on,
think.
go on, go on.
No, I was just saying
Yeah.
the subliminal mind is just more powerful than we think, and placing those Easter eggs, like you said, definitely helps.
Yeah. So I think for this week we're not going to do the last segment of the show, which is um, the reading list.
Ah, okay.
We have exceeded our time, but we can move it to next week. But I might just take this opportunity to present what that section is going to look like. So we're going to have a reading list of books, different titles, different genres, and we're going to read a book every week, and then use the last segment of this show to reflect on that book, lessons learned, and the biggest takeaways, and personally where we think we can plug in the lessons learned from the book in our personal lives or businesses to increase our productivity or efficiency.
Yeah, definitely,
Do you want
guys.
to add
Stay
anything?
tuned to that. We're reading some interesting books. Do you have a couple of titles to kind of get people's imaginations rolling?
Well, I think easily one of the most mind blowing ones for me is the first one we read, um,
The Courage to Be
The Courage
Disliked.
to be Disliked.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because that just is the perspective shift on, especially about tasks. He calls them tasks, but it's about responsibility and what you can control, and what is being able to identify what you can control and what is beyond your control, and not bothering about the things you cannot control.
Yeah, definitely very important, especially in business. You just have to do what you can do, and everything that's out of your control is you can't stress too much about it.
Yeah.
You need to
And
conserve
well,
mental energy for something else.
yeah, so this brings me to the last bit of it, and I've been like most excited about this bit because I have this. I'm a big fan of Diary of a CEO, and his I think his first few seasons first few episodes, he had this thing saying he hopes nobody is listening. And I can't actually remember it, but this is a variation of it. I hope nobody is listening. In the off chance that somebody is listening, we hope you found this useful. And we are going to be back every Monday. We're going to be releasing the episodes every Monday, and we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, and you hope you bear with
Sani?
us as we get better at podcasting.
No, thank you.